This rack of cardboard boxes is super handy, and then when I needed more room I made another one, and half of these drawers in here are actually just cardboard boxes dressed up to look like drawers, but so far it's lasted. And if I can make the drawers out of cardboard, maybe I can make a cabinet to go with them out of cardboard as well. Something to hold just 8 of these boxes. Because I got a bunch of this cardboard which is just wide enough in the strong direction for 2. And I don't even need any fancy tools to cut this up. But I'm making it look a little bit easier than it is. That utility knife blade is actually polished so it slides through the cardboard more easily. It can be hard going through that thick cardboard, so it helps to re-hone the blade. And here it just slides through it like butter because this is actually a bit lighter cardboard. Got the platforms cut. Now I need the spacers to go in between, and those need to be quite precise, and that's a lot of cuts. If only I had some kind of machine to cut these panels made out of wood fibers. And then I realized I do have such a machine. And here's fixing my first joint, which I actually screwed up, but fortunately with hot glue I can just fix it with a heat gun, so long as I can get it apart. Now I need a divider exactly in the middle. Now the tricky part is gluing this one on precisely, especially so the middle one is exactly in the middle. So I made this guide here so I can see how it lines up on the back, and on the front I can see it. And now I just have to squeeze some glue into that gap I just pried open. I'm not achieving my normal level of precision with this thing, but I left lots of margin, so these will still fit in. So it turns out these panels are slightly crushed towards the edges, and that leads to a cumulative error where the middle is taller. So I just shortened the middle one a little bit so that it's even. My main sources of imprecision on this thing is cardboard not consistent thickness because it's partially crushed, and cutting things with a utility knife instead of everything on the table saw. That outside layer is for reinforcing and also to make it look a little bit better. On the previous fold, that piece of wood ended up actually cutting the cardboard when I hit it, so this time I'm tapping it a bit more gently. I don't like those rough corrugated edges, so I'm cutting those flat so I can add a piece of wooden trim to it on the front. Whoops. This thing is made out of some very heavy duty cardboard. If it wasn't for that cardboard, I wouldn't have attempted this thing. Strong enough to hold me. This cardboard I'm using is some pretty sturdy stuff. So this is regular double layer cardboard, and this piece weighs 36 grams compared to the stuff I'm using for the same area weighs more than twice as much. And comparing that to underlay plywood, if I put 20 pounds on there, that flexes a fair bit. And this piece of cardboard is actually narrower. Flexes actually a little bit less. So the idea of this thing is it's actually for the kids, because we're always ragging on them to put away their stuff and get more organized, but they don't really have a good place to put things away too, all the little miscellaneous bits. So by making this for them, maybe that'll encourage them to get more organized. And I didn't want to put too much effort into this thing because they probably won't use it, they're just still too young. But to my surprise, the kids actually did end up organizing stuff in there. Basically just various Playmobil scenes they set up to find the pieces again. So I may have to build another one. And this top exposed edge is already getting slightly dinged up, so I may have to put in a piece of wooden trim to cover that as well. And I got 15 more of these empty boxes, so that'll be the size of the next one. And these are all from blueberries we buy. It takes us less than a month to go through one of these boxes, so we got lots of them. And the next one's going to be out of plywood again. Not like this one. This one was too much work. This one was supposed to be less work, but it was pretty finicky to put together. But I've got another idea of how to build one of these that will hopefully take less time. Although one thing that made this one take longer is that half the drawers on this one are actually made out of wood. And another thing, I mentioned this at the end of another video, but not everybody watches everything. These drill bushings are back in stock, and these are for making your own precision doweling jigs. And the sleeve in this is really deep. Actually, it's the same dimensions as the one in the Craig pocket hole jig. So it occurred to me that I could actually even try to make my own pocket hole jig using one of these out of wood. Not that I would use one of these very much, because you know, making stuff out of cardboard is one thing, but using pocket holes, for me, that might be a bridge too far.